Let's get that on film.
Never.
We got
Never.
that
Hey,
on.
fans of the Monday Movie Club. Amy's making love to her cat right now.
Always.
I'm gonna bark at
This week, I chose the new Netflix movie, You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah, in an effort to watch newer movies for our fans. Fan? I am Frank Gaffney. With us, as always, is... Oh, wait, you're still Dodgson.
So I am. All right. Next week I'll be somebody else.
All right. Go fucking Cringer. Go Fook and Cringer. Annie King. It's all ready for the beach. Mark Wotitz Gartner has no picture up. I don't know what that means. Frank, why you are so not invited to my bat mitzvah? Wow, this is a thing. Well, this is probably the newest movie we've ever seen because it was only released 17 days ago. Exciting.
Well, the newest non-Marvel movie, sure.
My niece Katie said that we were getting boring because we were doing all these old movies. So that's why we're doing this one.
But then she's seen all the old movies.
Right.
That's where she lost interest, I guess, because she didn't know these old movies.
So we're catering to our one fan now.
I don't even think she was a fan.
She better give us a like.
Yeah. She would watch Marvel stuff. Did she? I don't know if she ever gave us a like.
For this one.
Oh, she better now. All right. So this is based on a 2005 young adult novel, YA, by Fiona Rosenblum. And it tells the story of two best friends whose bat mitzvah plans go awry. Don't you love that? As they fight for the attention of the same popular boy. Sounds like high school. But here it's quite the family affair. Adam Sandler, who just turned 57 yesterday. Can you believe it? He has a supporting role in this movie as the dad, and his daughter, Sunny Sandler, is the young Stacy who is about to be bat mitzvahed, and her older sister is played by her really older sister, Sadie. And Stacy's best friend, Lydia, is played by newcomer Samantha Lorraine. She was good in this. I liked her a lot. And Lydia's mother is played by Adam Sandler's wife, Jackie. But in the movie, Adam Sandler's wife is played by Idina Menzel, who also played his wife in Uncut Gems. Got that?
And I didn't read it. I forgot to read any of the trivia, but I wonder if the girl who played Lydia was really Sonny's friend growing up, because I remember they showed old pictures of them and they were together and they looked really young, and I forgot to look that up.
You don't
If
think
that was the case, if that was the case, they both did a good job. And yeah, they could have certainly been photoshopped, but the way he put his whole family in.
Yeah, well, actually, all of the Sandlers are good here.
Yeah.
And they share an easy, giggly, authentic, warm, and chemistry with one another. And so I guess this is a rare case of a Nepo baby being a good idea. But Sunny, she may have just launched her career. She is so good in this. She's so charming. I really enjoyed her. And as a matter of fact, the whole movie is charming. And one person, one of my friends on Facebook said it was adorable. I don't know if I'd go that far. Stacy has all the usual adolescent hang-ups. She's trying to find her place in the world, trying to comprehend adulthood, and trying desperately to be noticed by boys. And specifically, she has her eyes on one Jewish boy in her Hebrew class with the perfectly curly hair. Amy, I know you were jealous. And he has a Star of David chain, and he says things like tight. I guess that's their version of sup now. Is that it?
No, tight is cool.
Tight's been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we watched it. You know, I love to kill birds. We actually watched it with our Monday night at the movie group here at the clubhouse. And of course, they really liked it. But I never felt so old watching a movie. It really was geared to teenagers. And I also never felt so not Jewish. but I think we have one Jew in the whole complex here at Briar Creek. but they didn't mind it. Nobody seemed to be lost in that. And I remember, Amy, didn't we film somebody's bar mitzvah? Was it Jake Levitt?
Did we? Oh my God, I don't know.
Well, anyway, it was not all this mishigas they have now, because it
Yeah.
was just, we were in a hall and there was a band and that was it. There was no planning.
As someone who's of the age with kids who has recently been to bat mitzvahs or bar mitzvahs within the last 5 or 6 years, they're not all that either.
Oh, okay. It's not all this competition to have the best and the.
Well, I thought it was. Isn't Keeping Up with the Joneses about a bar mitzvah?
We've heard things like that, and I can say honestly, I've only been to one bar mitzvah that I would consider over the top a little bit, but only because of where it was, not because of any sort of competition going involved. But
So you do not live in Long Island.
no, I know that, I know, but I do live in Fairfield County, where I'd expect
You would
it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, Joel, you don't have the right friends.
I know, I know I don't, but we were watching the movie with the Yellens, and their daughters both went to a Jewish high school, middle school and high school, where the competition was kind of there, but I'm like, I'm not familiar with it, so probably because I have boys. So
Yeah,
well-
I did 2 bat mitzvahs.
Uh-huh.
And you don't want to know how much that cost me.
I can imagine.
And
Yeah,
well,
I think Morgan's bat mitzvah cost me more than Amanda's wedding.
Oh my God.
The one
Well,
bat
I
mitzvah I went to was back in like '89, and it was more like the wedding singer's bar mitzvah. If you remember that scene, it was like a wedding hall, like you said, Joel.
Yeah. Well, there was one guy after our screening who came up to me and said that she was like, well, our son married a Jewish girl, and that really was the 2 kids' bar mitzvahs. And he was like, they're in their 20s now. So it was a while ago. So anyway, all right. So the director of this is Sammy Cohen. And the movie, like I said, is very rooted in today's 13-year-old world. And yeah, I mean, there were some jokes for we altar cockas, if you will. And there's even a funny quartet of altar cockers in the movie. I thought they were cute. But the music and the vibe of it is very purposefully today. And none of the movie really got to laugh out loud territory for me. I was smiling. It was all very pleasant. And honestly didn't feel terribly original. If you've watched a John Hughes movie, you kind of know where we're going with it. But I think it did a great job of presenting those anxieties of teenagers. And I'm sure today, I can only guess. And it didn't condescend or to any of the groups that were involved, and I didn't really feel it pandering so much to the teenage group, and certainly wasn't even offensive to me. So, it didn't offend me. So it would have been fun to spend more time on the best friends, Nikki and Tara. They were cute, but and I could have used a lot less of DJ Shmuley, who I thought was Adam Sandler at first. When we first saw him and he had the glasses on, I was like, is that Adam Sandler? Is he doing it? I think it would have been funnier if he had played both parts. So I'm giving it a very generous 3 stars. There are worse ways to spend your time. There are also better ways to spend your time, but it was perfectly fine. Mark G, was it torturous?
No, I did not hate it. But I'm going to write to my notes. I'm not the demographic. I don't know if everybody realized this, but I'm not Jewish. I'm not a 13-year-old, and I'm not a girl. So
I'm none of those things either.
There you go. And this is not my type of movie. I actually enjoyed 13 Going on 30 better. Having said that, I enjoyed it enough. The main girl, Stacy, she was a good actress, like you said. And holy shit, she looks just like her mom. She definitely got the looks in the family. Unfortunately, the older sister.
I thought the older sister was a spitting image of the mom. They both had the big long face, and the younger one looked like
the
Adam.
close-ups of her face were like the scene where she's in the car with Lydia and Lydia's mom, who's really her mom in real life, it's like you got the wrong daughter back there. She's sitting right behind us. She looks just like her for me. But I hated her bratty attitude, always playing the victim. I was definitely on Team Lydia, who I thought was sweet and adorable. I had agita for the full 5-minute lead up to the video being shown at Lydia's bat mitzvah, because you know it's gonna be shown. But here, hold on, and that's the one I'm gonna go on a little rant here for me. The directing and writing of the scene was horrible. I thought if anybody grew up with an actual BFF, I was lucky enough I had two, one of which specifically we got into a fist fight in 8th grade. We made up. It happens. You get into these fights. You get into these things. So 8th grade, almost we're like barely a year older than these girls. The scene where Stacy's sitting there in frame 1, when she realized that video was up there, if you were an actual friend,
You run.
would be running at DJ Shmuley and stopping that video. And she's sitting there like this, and then gets up in slow motion. It was complete BS, and it like ruined a lot of.
Well, I think that it at first the video was a normal video. There was a while until it got to the nasty stuff.
She made
she knew the video.
She knew she dropped in, but she
but
sabotaged it.
I think she totally forgot about it. She didn't send it, so she didn't know what version was.
I don't know. I think the writers forgot about it, and that's really what happened at that point.
Yeah, and here's the thing: you knew that it had to be shown for dramatic effect, but they should have had her get up and go to the bathroom, or be out. The mean girls are keeping her outside, or something that way she couldn't get to it. I would have bought that a lot more. But her just sitting there, she created this, and she knew that she sabotaged it. She would have been up right away.
But again, the writers did that on purpose to make you feel that agita. They wanted you to feel uncomfortable long enough so that when that part of the video that showed up, that was all
real.
Fucked up.
Yeah, you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, the way in which it was done, I felt it could have been done better, because that just makes her not a good person, her character. Anyway, I did enjoy Stacy's talks with God. And the fight between her and Adam Sandler was
oh my God,
was hilarious. Knowing that they're really father and daughter in real life, it was very funny. And then when Jackie shows up at the door too, and they're all listening, whatever. It's 2.5 stars for me. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. I think if I wasn't a demographic, and that one scene that I just talked about with the video, that could have been a 3-star movie, but I'm giving it 2.5.
All right, let's talk to the Jews in the crowd. And
I wrote a few notes. Most of them are a little picky. I am a huge Adam Sandler fan as he's gotten older. I never even saw most of his younger days videos, like all the Happy Gilmore stuff.
Yeah.
To me, it was stupid. I loved him on Saturday Night Live, but I would watch him like on talk shows, and it was just too much. But I've grown to really like him a lot. So I was looking forward to seeing it. I knew it got really good reviews. What I wrote was there were usually funny lines whenever Adam Sandler was on screen, especially when he was upstairs fighting with his daughter. Every other line out of his mouth was very funny, especially when he was talking about how bad the Jews have it. The scene where she put the money in DJ Shmuley's meter, love that name. DJ Shmuley. Oh my God, that's fabulous. And then he yelled at her because he wanted to see the sexy meter maid. And then when she was coming, he pulled the car out so fast and got into an accident. It was ridiculous. I was like, cut this stupid.
Yeah, both times he got into
both times. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
What century are we living in that the mother can just open up her daughter's laptop, is ready to go with no password needed, find the file, and now here comes the 3 asterisks. So remember this moment. And email it to the other mother, really far-fetched, still in asterisk mode. And for her to be shocked when the entrance video was played is ridiculous. She had to have had that video on her mind the whole time. And all of a sudden, I'm sorry, these are bad notes. All of a sudden thought she was just going to go to the bat mitzvah with no mention of anything in the video. She knew she made that video. She would have thought of it at some point. We got to do something with this video. Let it be known, okay, here comes the asterisk part. Let it be known that this in my previous notes were written before they actually happened. Everything from the asterisk on. I wrote the notes before it even happened because I knew it was going to happen. I hope that all made sense. I was complaining about things that didn't happen as if they already did happen.
But here's the other thing: wouldn't the mother have said, "Oh, by the way, I emailed your video"?
Of course. I
Well.
felt I felt bad for her sister because the writers had no idea what the hell to do with her. And then at the end, I remember when it said based on a novel by, I was like, oh, of course this was based on a young adult novel. So of course it was going to be silly like this. And all the time I kept thinking how weird it was to 13-year-old girls and not any of us. So I was curious to see what we all thought of it. So, I let that go and I still enjoyed it and I'll give it 3 stars as well. Because it was fine. And it was a little adorable. And it was Adam Sandler.
All right, let's now talk to somebody Jew adjacent, Annie King.
Yeah. So
Jew
I thought
adjacent, as it were.
I thought it was cute, totally predictable. Knew exactly where it was going. To me, it felt like an ABC after school special. That's what it reminded me of. I hated.
Okay, Annie, if it's an after school special, what lesson did you learn?
That,
Put a password on your computer.
that friends have fight and make up and you do stupid stuff when you're 13. That's, and you move past that. But I hated the scene where she jumps into the water and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what's going to happen. I was like,
I did not anticipate the pad coming out.
I didn't either. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about it.
Yeah. I was like, ugh, I didn't need that, but that must have been so, like, I don't know how you recover from that either.
Yeah. I would have to go to a different school.
Yeah.
She obviously didn't recover. She went psychotic on her best friend.
And I thought it was interesting that they wrote it that the girls laughed and all of the girls then were like, oh my God, this is horrible. They would have never thought that they would have cracked the fuck up and made fun of her.
Wait a minute. The other thing is, how does it get that loose and get away from you?
When you jump 30 feet into water.
But she had underwear over it, I assume.
It was a little far-fetched. Maybe after a few minutes, it might have gotten unsticky.
But yeah, no, it was fine enough to watch. I don't think we've really watched like a quick 90-minute fluff thing in a long time. So I just kind of felt like, oh, okay, that was it. I didn't really have to think too much about it or anything.
Right. It wasn't homework.
Now. Huh?
It wasn't homework.
Yeah. And that's it. I really had nothing else to say. Although I will say, like, I put 2 girls, both my girls had bat mitzvahs, and maybe not to that extreme because ours was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but it was pretty, on point with who to invite and how many groups to invite and everything like that. And, I think both of my girls were in clubs. So it was a big to do, so.
Did you hire DJ Shmuley?
Not him. He wasn't available. But yeah.
You didn't give a star rating.
2.75 for me.
Cute. Joel, there's no more Jewish than you.
This really?
Yeah.
What do you have?
Have you
met my Shiksa wife?
On this panel.
Oh, on this panel. So I agree.
What are you wearing? Justice League? What are you wearing?
Yeah, I'm wearing the Justice League. Even they couldn't save me from this. Look, I agree with everything that everybody said already. It's cute. There's nothing new. It's predictable. It's fine. It's nothing great. It's the Sandler family, with the exception of the wife, just because I think the character she's playing is so underwritten and just there that you don't really get a feel for how she is as an actress. But I think both of his daughters did the younger daughter specifically did a phenomenal job.
Oh, wait, that reminds me, I'm sorry, but that reminds me that she does have a terrible habit that she needs to break if she's going to continue acting. She keeps going weirdness with her mouth. I'm like, honey, stop that nervous tick.
and you know, all the Adam Sandler stuff is stuff he's tortured them with in real life.
Oh, sure, of
Yes.
course. I mean,
Sure.
as a dad, I can relate to some of the crap that they were doing or that he was doing to them. The thing that I could
said?
What?
I'm sorry, Joel. What
Right,
was the line he said? We didn't fight the Nazis from Mojito Station?
Yes, yes.
Something like that. It was hilarious.
I like Adam Sandler. I think, his three best films are probably Happy Gilmore, Uncut Gems, and Murder Mystery, in my opinion. And they're three very different films. Again, I'm not the demographic in the sense that I'm not a 13-year-old girl. Being Jewish, even Natasha at points, some of the Judaism going on in the background was annoying the fuck out of her. I am not a fan at all of Sarah Sherman, who played Rabbi Rebecca.
Yeah. I like her.
I cannot stand her on Saturday Night Live. I feel like Melissa Villaseñor left the show and they replaced her with this.
Yeah.
It's like going.
Wait a minute, Amy, did your cup actually say SNL on it?
No, it says SM. Steve Madden.
Oh,
That would be funny.
oh, that's funny.
And honestly,
no, I every time she came on, I'm like, oh, calm down, Mary.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I'm a Reform Jew. I know a lot of I've known a lot of Reform Jew rabbis in my time. I've even known some less than Reform Jew rabbis in my time, as some people would put it. She was, I don't even know how to explain that character. I don't know what the hell she was.
I'd love to know how different she was in the book and how much it was like, just Sarah Sherman.
Because if she was an actual rabbi, I think she'd be unemployed.
Yeah, pretty much. Sue Yellen read the book, but it was like 7 or 8 years ago when her daughters were actually being bat mitzvahed. And she said the book is different. It's not as it's humorous, but not as humorous as this is trying to be, and it's focused in a different direction. But I don't remember specifically what she said.
Well, I think the great thing about it was that they were all very proud to be Jewish, and
sure,
so why not? Why not?
And that's fine. I had no problem with that, but there were a lot of oddities to me, and maybe it's my upbringing is just different than, I'm watching this. I'm going, all right, they're at school, and then they're at Hebrew school, but half the time, the way things were set up and shown, it felt like they were the same place, because it seemed like all the same kids went from one to the other, and
Joel, I think you need to apply comic book logic here. And just accept.
Well, that's fine. I can
that their little group of friends are friends at high school and they're friends at the synagogue.
That's fine. It was just weird for me.
I agree, Joel.
There were a lot of little things that were just kind of, when they open the Torah and she's starting to do the prayers before it, and I'm going, she doesn't have a yod. Why doesn't she? Oh, there's the yod. It's like, because you're not supposed to touch the Torah when you're reading it. But anyway.
So Joel, you prefer 8 Crazy Nights to this as far as Jewish movies go?
Yeah, because I'd watch that again. There's no reason for me to watch this movie again, especially with Sarah Sherman. And I will say this. I dislike her so much that the only reason I'm giving this 2.5 stars instead of 2 stars is because of the Sandler sisters, and Adam Sandler. And, there were, I know he usually likes to cast his friends and stuff. And I can't remember if he's friends with Louise Guzman or not, but did he owe him something? I was like, why is he here? He's a great actor and he's in a nothing role. I was like,
well, I looked the girl up. The girl is half Hispanic in real life. And that's
No. That I had no problem with. That I
Yes.
guessed, but
but
by the
why
last
Louis
name,
Guzman?
I'm just like, why is it him? You know, it's like he's a name. Did he show up on set by accident one day and it's like, oh, we need someone to play her father? You know, I don't know.
He could be one of those actors like, I have a few weeks off. What's out there?
Sure, he could be. You figure he's got to be rolling in that Wednesday money at this point, or maybe that was part of his contract for Wednesday. You know, you're going to play
Right.
Gomez,
Have to
but
do
you
it.
also have to be in 3 Adam Sandler movies.
Right. Right. It's a Netflix
It's all the
contract.
Netflix crap. I'm going to give it 2.5 stars, and I think it's a little on the generous side for me. But there was something else I wanted to say, and I can't remember because I just
Well, I cut you off. You were gonna say something, a joke before or something. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Well, while you're thinking that, I just want to address Sarah Sherman. I found her to be like an annoying female Jim Carrey myself. But Danielle looked up the movie online, and the reviews were that she was the comic relief and was fantastic in all her scenes. And I was like, I will say this: we need more teachers like that. I like that she was fun and she was singing and she was engaging with the children.
Yes, but here's
really like that.
That was nice. We do need more teachers like that. However, the rabbi would be doing one-on-one sessions with the kids at that point, as opposed to having a giant class of like 40 kids, it seemed like.
Okay.
And so that was really odd to me, which was not what I was going to say. But I was going to say, so it came and it went and it's gone, and
Sorry.
it's okay. It was a comment Natasha made, and I'm trying to remember what the hell it was.
Is she not sitting there?
No, she's not. She's at work this morning. So sorry.
Where does this take place?
Where?
In California?
It was shot in Toronto, but we were
I thought it was
guessing.
New York.
We were guessing that it was California because it was too sunny to be New York. And the temple seemed too large to be, it was like too large and too modern to be New York. So it had to be out west.
I thought they made some reference to it being New York, like a real quick passing Manhattan-y reference. And then I was looking at the license plates and they looked the blue and white New York to me. I could be wrong.
It's a fantasy world where nothing
Right.
makes sense.
Anytown, USA.
Anytown, USA.
While you were talking, I realized I didn't scroll up. There were 2 jokes that gave me a really big smile. Frank, like you, I didn't laugh. You know, if I have a really big smile, to me, that's really funny because I don't really laugh out loud much when I watch. The first really big smile I had was when his daughter said, Dad, I've had my period for 7 months. And Adam Sandler said, that's a really long period. Didn't even see that coming.
You should have followed it up with, you should go see a doctor, though.
Right, yeah.
That's true. That's even better. And the other one was, the other big laugh I'm embarrassed to say I didn't see coming was when the guy at the Jewish school or temple, the Hebrew school, said, I was in a Jewish rock and roll band as a kid and we called ourselves Exodus because Genesis was taken. That was great.
Yes. I have a question for Joel and Annie. Did any of your kids get busted making out?
Oh my God, that would never in a million years be able to happen. It's like, so okay, so somebody was in that supply closet, they had to find another place, they would have gone to the bathroom, they would have gone behind the building, nobody would have gone in the ark. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and also the rabbi would have been much more pissed off.
Yeah,
that's sacred.
Yeah, that's just no.
So, I mean, like you said, you're not even allowed to touch it.
Yeah.
So while I thought it was like pretty awesome that they did have the Hispanic and the Asian girl in the Hebrew school, that doesn't happen very often.
It was a little wacky.
At the first time, I was like, "Wait, how is this Hebrew school? There's like half the kids are not Jewish." And then I was like, "All right."
In the middle of the movie, Dave's like, "That is the most progressive Hebrew school I've ever seen."
Which is why my question of where does this actually take place? Because in Anytown, USA, that's not going to happen.
Annie, your kids got bat mitzvah, and they're not. They don't look. They look Asian, don't they?
Amanda more so than Morgan. If you put Morgan right next to Dad, she definitely looks like Dad, and Amanda looks like me. So we didn't even go to the one by us. We went to the one in the next town, actually, for Hebrew school. and definitely the only non, non-white student there.
Participant.
Everyone
I
else
mean,
was like
the only, I think in her whole junior high school, there were 2 Jewish kids over
Wow.
here. So, which is
Yeah.
why we went to the next town to go to Hebrew school.
And that even here, like in Stamford, we have 3 major temples and 3 major high schools, and there's still, there's very little mix between them. Like Malcolm had maybe like 2 kids in his Hebrew school class that he was in high school with. So
Yeah, this was the same group of kids everywhere.
Yeah,
I take that back. I take that back. It's not any town, USA. It's Jewtown, USA.
New York.
New York.
Jew York.
There you go.
Jew Garden. Jew Gardens.
New Gardens.
I can't remember what the hell I was thinking of.
I'm stalling, Joel. You're not getting
No.
it, so we got you.
You can stall until Rosh Hashanah at this point. It's not going to happen.
When's that?
Coming up.
September 18th?
Friday night.
Yeah, next Saturday.
All right. So that's our thoughts on it. It's a time passer if you have time. You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah is only available on Netflix. Next week, Amy makes us revisit her childhood with Mel Brooks' silent movie.
Yay.
1976. Were you in Stanford then? Yeah. And you went to the Avon to see it?
She's not answering because it's silent.
I know. She's like,
We should do next week just head nods and sign language. We can't talk on the review.
Mark, that was brilliant. I wasn't even thinking that.
I thought you were doing it on purpose.
Not yet in Stanford at the time, so I did not see it at the Avon.
Joel, if you can make title cards for next week instead of
Oh my God, that would be great.
no audio, we'll just do all.
I have time for that. I'll just forget to record the audio. How's that?
There you go. It's not. I'm sorry.
I wonder if I could do that. Just subtitle the whole thing and then strip the audio out.
Wow.
See
That
what-
would be
Can you
Fantastic.
put on closed captioning?
You did. Hold on. I got a memory recently where Joel, you had posted it instead of Frank for whatever reason. I think we did it live. and
Right.
It was subtitled.
Subtitle. Okay. Let me see what I can do. We'll see.
Well, I'm seeing one of the options down here says show captions.
So maybe
So
I
maybe it would.
part of the
Maybe
report.
it would. Has a CC. Live transcription. Yeah. See. Okay.
Okay.
Live. Yeah. See. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't see anything.
I see is
Oh, I can see it.
participant has enabled closed captioning. Who can transcript recording on?
Yeah,
All right. So next week we'll just do it all with it.
Wait. It says the transcript of this meeting may be saved and shared with apps and others by participants with relevant permissions based on the settings configured for this meeting. Okay. We'll figure
All
it out.
right. So next week let's turn the CC on.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not available. Sorry. Are you still watching? It's not available on the usual
Fifth.
subscription services. It's not for rental even, but you can purchase it or borrow the DVD from your library. I actually have a Mel Brooks collection on Blu-ray, and it's one of them
Do you know why it's not streaming?
because Disney owns Fox. All right. I am Frank Gaffney. Go watch a movie.
And also with you. Shalom.
Shalom.
Mazel tov.
A copy of the film.